Ends of the Earth Part 3. So actually it's the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 684. So let's move into the urgent review also as we are continuing on that one. I'm overjoyed to say that Ends of Earth bounces back in its third chapter, leaving the problems of issue 683 behind and staying on cue to keep this a Spidey-centric story with scenarios that only he can thrive in. Dan Slott picks things up pretty much right where we left off, and though the issue begins with some hefty monologuing from Doc Ock and the convenient rescue by Silver Sable, Slott soon drives the book into far more personable territory as Spidey, Black Widow, and Sable are led into another one of Ock's contingency plans. Where this issue succeeds most is not in the larger storyline, but its surprising focus on Sandman, his love for his daughter, and a new evolution to the physical nature of his character. Amazing Spidey 684 is an area that Slott excels in. It explores Peter's technical prowess and exploits it in order to find brand new solutions to defeating decades-old enemies. Better yet, Slott successfully plays up the tragedy angle of Sandman and further implants the idea in readers' minds about Peter's assumptions towards his rogues. Sure, history dictates that he should be suspicious of Sandman's motives, yet Slott gives a brief window into Flint's mind to let us, the readers, know that his motives are tender, despite his actions being all wrong. Unfortunately, the impact of that realization is dampened by the new terms of Doc Ock's agreement with the world. Instead of being content with their admittance to needing his help, he has now added more generic villainous requirements of money and expunged records. It not only lessens the intrigue of Ock's complicated and fragile psyche to some degree, but also the complex perspective of Peter toward his rogues. It's a clear path back to familiar ground that really offers nothing new. So that's the main thing, and that's where the story is coming to a proper storyline or proper owned in the mountain kind of storyline. That is what should happen in a Amazing Spider-Man series. Gone in Stefano Caselli from Ends of the Earth, it seems, and in his place is regular Spidey artist Humberto Ramos. Thankfully, due to the rather isolated nature of his issue, a bulk of it relegated to the desert with a limited number of characters, the art is far less cluttered and more suited to Ramos' stylistic artwork, while the action sequences are still a bit spotty when it comes to clearly blocking the action. The characters are more effectively rendered with stronger detail and body language. This is the prettiest Ramos' work has looked in a Spidey book in quite some time. So let's move into the other reviews also in Weekly Comic Book Review. A number of factors make this a much stronger issue, but none is bigger than the presence of the Humberto Ramos Victor Olzaba team on line work. In fact, the difference with this issue exposes how silly it is for Marvel to focus so much attention on writers. The majority of writers are completely fungible, whereas top-shelf artistic talents like Ramos and Delgado are not. Compared to last issue, the things that's just getting Ramos more expressive and cartoony characters made a huge difference. This issue feels light and bouncy, and that's how a Spider-Man story should feel 99% of the time. Even when Spidey is fighting to save the world, he usually doesn't lose his cheaper spirit. That's why we love him. And the art needs to always echo that mood. The story takes a turn for the better too. Last issue's fight between the Avengers and the Sinister Six was just so much unnecessary noise. We readers know that there is no way that any of Spider-Man or any of the Avengers is in any sort of mortal peril. We just know it. So yeah, don't insult our intelligence by wasting an issue showing us just how tough the new and improved Sinister Six is. Maybe the story requires the Avengers receiving a beat down for the sake of drama, or perhaps they are all just pretending to be KO as part of a big plan. Yeah, that is fishy kind of thing. So needless to say, watching Spidey undertake a more stealthy mission while teamed up with two attractive lady heroes is much more in keeping with the overall theme of Spider-Man comics, especially when there is a possible romance angle hanging in the air with one of them. But hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and hope you guys will enjoy the next part too.